Good afternoon, everyone. This is Vic from Trading Academy and Investments. And as promised, guys, here is another video on HIMS and HERS. However, just keep in mind, this is the technical side of trading, not fundamentals, even though we already know HIMS just released earnings report, I'd say a couple of weeks ago. And as expected, right, blew expectations out of the water. But it's good to see things from a different perspective, right? Which is the technical side. And so those of you, if you haven't done so already, I highly suggest you go back to previous videos and just seeing how HIMS has actually played out since my predictions. All right, but let's get to it. So first, I want to go ahead and talk about worst case scenarios. Let's talk about worst case scenarios, right? We got to overcome those fears and we just got to wait things out. It's as simple as that, right? So let's say, right, we already know, those of you who have seen any of my videos know I do market structure, supply and demand, and order blocks, right? I've hinted to you guys a lot on order blocks. I've highly encouraged you guys to do a lot of research on order blocks. It has changed my trading tremendously, and if it could change yours as well, right? So now let's talk about, all right, the monthly time frame. For those previous videos, if you've seen my previous videos, I've always talked about this level right here, right? Those of you who know about order blocks, you clearly see the market creates a lower low, lower high, but we don't come back to this candle after a big move up, or well, in this case, will be down prior to this candle. Remember, this is the monthly time frame. This is an actual pretty big move. So the high was 919 just in this candle alone, and the low is 633. Considering it's HIMS, right? It is actually a pretty big move. So after that move, well, I expect the market to kind of retrace, right? The market moves in waves. So we didn't kind of tend to go all the way back up to that green candle, which leaves a level of imbalance, right? So now the market, as of June 1st, the market started moving up, and we got a high of 728. We rallied quite a bit, actually, for 3 months. We rallied pretty good, and now the market, came back down. That is to be expected, right? If you've seen any of my videos, you've seen how I've marked, and we'll go down to the weekly time frame so you can kind of see. But so my area of concern is this. Okay, so we retest it now. So I always have two levels of retest, right? Which is basically your first reactionary zone, which is the low, right? Which is this lower low, and then come back almost 100, 75 to 100% of where the move actually originally happened, right? Which is this green candle right here, right? So we didn't get this retest, but the retest came over here. So we reached the first reactionary zone and the market reacted. Yes, 2 months, then the market goes down. Now we get work on our first green candle of the month. The month has not closed, guys. We still have quite a couple days going, right? So with that being said, well, if this is a possible higher high on the weekly time frame, not the monthly, this to me is just a retest of the monthly with potential of it moving down, because remember, we're still on a downtrend. Now let's go jump to the weekly time frame so we can compare what I see on the monthly versus what I see on the weekly. Keep in mind, higher time frames are good to eliminate a lot of this a lot of candles, a lot of the noise, right? But when the market shifts and it changes from sellers to a buyer's market, you have to use your lower time frames to kind of see the move already happen, because you will see if this is actually our new higher high. Well, as you can see on the weekly, we've possibly already shifted into a buyer's market, but on the monthly time frame, we are still not showing that. Okay, so it's going to show on the lower time frames before it catches up on the higher time frames. Okay, but now let's talk about what's been going on here. As you guys can see from the previous time, I've actually marked my charts. It says must hold this zone for buyer's sake. Guys, I'm not kidding. All right, we gotta hold this area. Now, here's the move, right? This is the weekly time frame. Here's the move that was caused because of the earnings report, fundamentals, right? So we're going to even work our way lower, right? But just so you guys can see how order blocks work and or how just the market moves in general, right? There's the big candle prior to the move, right? The market comes down, comes up, we retest this area, the market comes down again. This candle is bigger than the green candle. All right, we go down. We create a lower low, right? Based off this move right here. Okay. The market, what does the market do? We create a green candle. Well, this week we come back to this area right here. And now guess what? Boom, we created a new lower low, right? And again, this is just, I'm not talking about big picture right now. I'm talking about just this move in general right here. Okay. So lower low. Then what happens? Earnings report comes out, right? And just this candle alone completely, it pierces it, but it doesn't close above this area, nor this area, nor this area. Okay? When it comes to big moves like this, I've have my theory. I trade. Look, I've traded crypto. I've traded for the forex market, which is a currency exchange. I invest in the stock market as well. And guys, I typically see this a good amount of times, right? So if we go down to the, let's say the 4 hour, right? Let's go down to the 4 hour. All right, so let's blow this up. Okay, you guys know I've been talking about gaps since HIMS went public, and I've been quite tentative about gaps, but stocks in the stock market, you have to be a little bit more careful with gaps. Now, here is earnings, right? This huge move up, right? Well, if you take this short move here, okay, let's say higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We fail to make a higher high, and then the market comes and close and actually opens down here. So what if this is an actual breakout? Okay, so if that is the case, as we have just shifted into a downtrend once again, right? And this is just temporary, right? If we are actually in the big picture, if we already made a higher high, we are now just looking for what could be this higher low. Okay, and this is just part of the move. Like I said, with every impulse move, typically my rule of thumb is I would like to see the market come back 75 to 100% of that move to kind of cover that imbalance, right? And which is basically what gaps are, and then market continue its actual trend. So when I saw this, the first thing I noticed was like, well, we could potentially be going up to this area right here, which I don't know if for those of you who saw my message on one of the social media platforms was, hey, gap at 657, right? And then, of course, another gap at 462. I would have rather seen the 462 get closed first before 657. I've always said that gaps tend to, at least in the forex market, they tend to act as magnets, right? The price will kind of attract itself to where the gap is and cover that imbalance and then continue to move forward, right? And if this is the case, we just entered a temporary I guess downtrend. Then looks like we're headed toward 462. Now remember, this is a range, so it's not a particular price. Don't automatically think, hey, we're gonna hit 462 and boom, skyrocket. I mean, don't get me wrong, could happen, but remember, the market's not perfect, right? So it is a average or range, 470, 406. That's a big range, but remember, all of my predictions tend to be based off the weekly time frame, anyways. So that's what I'm seeing right now. I'm basically predicting the market's going to come all the way down here to this area, and then hopefully actually look for a new higher high, which is up here. We will eventually probably close this for 657. And, obviously it closing 462 first would be great, because that then at that point tells me sometime, whenever that is, we will most likely see this price again. Okay. So now let's go back to the daily time frame, right? So as you can see, guys, here's the gaps. They're bigger gaps, and so yep, market comes down, and hopefully expect a move to the upside. So realistically speaking, now there is this gap down here. I've always mentioned it. It's always been in the back of my head. Now, will we see those prices again? I want to say most likely, but right now I am trying to remain, positive, and just, hopefully we get to see that bullish move to the upside. Hopefully take us to the $8 range, between 8 and 9. Those of you who've seen my long-term predictions, as you can see, right, weekly candle close red. Right now, again, same, expecting a move down here to hopefully come back, and visit this range right here, which is, like I said, 877, between 8 to almost $9. Long-term target is still 1345-ish, 1450. That is, at least this is where I'm looking at HIMS possibly reaching. And once it reaches that point, then at that point, I'm most likely, take some of the profits, and, continue to hold on to see what HIMS has for us in the next upcoming months, possibly, years. So guys, also as expected, and as I said, another one of the stocks that I am currently watching right here. This is my watch list, so I have a little bit of everything: currency exchange, Dow Jones, stock market, right? Let's look at the S&P. Guys, like I've continued to say, even after this move right here, I am still expecting a very big move to the downside. I honestly think we have one more drop in us, and with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of what I was what I'm expecting, to be honest with you, and it is the airlines, right? I'm going to go ahead and create a video on the Delta Airlines, United Airlines, Southwest, JetBlue, and Spirit. So what am I seeing in the airline industry? What are the predictions on that? I've made some really good returns on Southwest Airlines once it was trying to go back into those levels of pre-COVID levels. So if you are interested in learning, or at least seeing any of the other predictions that I have for the airline industry, do not forget to go ahead and like and subscribe, watch and look for all of my other videos. And guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Once again, please leave your comments below. And Thanksgiving is coming, right? Enjoy the rest of your weekend, enjoy your holidays, and I look forward to reading any of your comments. All right, have a great day, guys.